So hello and welcome to the Overlook neighborhood in North Portland. Now this is a neighborhood that shares similarities with some of the more expensive neighborhoods that you can find in Northeast Portland. You have stunning homes here, great access to downtown, and Overlook is probably one of the most well-connected and livable areas in the city. So in this video we'll take a deep dive into this neighborhood. We'll explore the parks and amenities, and of course we'll take some time and look at the homes and of course the home prices. And trust me, the Overlook neighborhood is not one for you to overlook. So hello, I'm David Backholer and welcome to a really beautiful sunny morning here in the Overlook neighborhood in North Portland. Now first things first, I promise there's going to be no more Overlook puns in this video. I've already got that very bad one in during the intro. Now if you are new to my channel, then welcome along. I'm a real estate broker. I'm based here in Portland and I specialize in helping people relocate to the Portland metro area. So if you do find that you need some help with your move here, feel free to reach out. You get my contact information down below. There's also a QR code in the corner. You can scan that and set up a one-on-one Zoom call with me. Okay, so now let's go on the topic of today's video and let me take a moment to show you why this area is called Overlook, and then we'll bring up a map and show you exactly where we're located. So the Overlook neighborhood gets its name from the Overlook Bluff. This provides sweeping views of the Willamette River, the industrial area also down here, and then parts of downtown, and then the West Hills, and that's the Fremont Bridge on the corner there. Now the bluff runs along the western edge of the neighborhood, and that's where I'm currently standing. Now historically it was a sought after residential area because of these scenic overlook views, and then developers in the early 1900s leaned into that appeal when naming and marketing the neighborhood. Now you see that there's many houses right behind me that will have some fantastic views. So that all said, the name quite literally is all about the vantage point. It's one of the few places in Portland where you can still get panoramic river views from residential streets. Most other properties along the river are either condos or floating homes. Okay, so now you know how the area got its name. Let's bring up the map so you can see a little bit more about where we're located and what we also have in the area. Okay, so let's take a few minutes to explore where the Overlook neighborhood is, what's in the surrounding area, and then some of the amenities that you'll find in and around the neighborhood. So this is our map of Portland. Just to give you the bearings, right here. This is where you'll find the downtown area, the Pearl District, right around here. The Overlook neighborhood, you'll see, is directly north of that and just across the other side of the Willamette River. So you'll see where it's this dotted red line, so kind of 405 into the middle of the river and right around this area. This is where you'll see, if let's go to our satellite view, this is where you'll find kind of some of those more industrial areas. You kind of got the docks down here, and then if you see this green kind of belt, this green area here, that kind of separates this lower area and then the upper area. So this is much lower down, kind of this industrial area, and this greenery kind of hides kind of some of the stuff from the actual neighborhood. So the park, which you'll see me, I was at a couple of times, is way down here, Overlook Park, and there's some pretty views. You'll see there's some houses along here that have some fantastic views over the river and then into the west side. Okay, so there's a few reasons why Overlook is really popular. One is the location, incredibly central, right? Incredibly central to the overall city of Portland. It's a very short distance over the 405 to get into the Pearl District, where you find lots of shops and great restaurants. The Nob Hill area, again, you're going to find great places on Northwest 23rd to get a bite to eat. In fact, let's just go back to our overall view. And then downtown Portland's right here. So very, very central, great public transportation. And then this road right here, Pacific Highway, this has multiple, in fact you can just see one here, multiple of the Max station line. In fact, let's just put our little guy down and see if I can show you what I'm talking about. So you'll find in this part of the road you see lots of condos along here, and then but overall it's got some smaller, cuter, older homes. So the railway kind of goes along here, and there's multiple stations along here. There's 3 different stations actually in this neighborhood, and they'll take you into that downtown area in about 10 minutes. So if you live, I wouldn't necessarily live on this road because it's kind of a little bit busy, but if you live anywhere on here where you got these older, beautiful, charming homes, a 5-minute walk perhaps to one of the Max stations, and you can see that will take you into downtown Portland in 5 minutes. So that's kind of a great feature. And then if you we'll talk more about the job opportunities here, but let's just show you, you'll see right here, you probably recognize this logo. This is the Adidas head office for the Pacific, for North America. So you can see it's right in the neighborhood, and we'll do some more exploration of this in our main part of the video. But you'll see, I think I was standing right here later on in the video, you'll see. But it's embedded actually into the neighborhood. So if you are going to work for Adidas, or if you're in that kind of industry, living in the Overlook neighborhood makes it very viable, and then you've got a very short distance to go to get into their head office. So you can cycle, bike, walk, there's lots of options to get into the head office. So their office is very well located. And then if you're watching this because you work here but you want to look in a different neighborhood, you've got other neighborhoods nearby, like in Northeast Portland, for example, as well. So there's quite a lot in this neighborhood that makes it very, very popular. In terms of bars, restaurants, cafes, shops, you'll see there's a few along North Killingworth, La Bonita. There's 2 or 3 of those restaurants in Portland. It's a fantastic Mexican restaurant. And then there's a few kind of along that Interstate Avenue. That's kind of a fairly busy road. But then just over here, Mississippi is one of the busiest, not say busiest, but this is just outside the Overlook Neighborhood, I should clarify. But you've got lots of bars, restaurants, cafes along here, but a little bit further south on that, but that little guy. So Bruden North is a fantastic breakfast spot, but loads of little places within a very short distance from this Overlook neighborhood. And there's one thing you'll notice about Portland overall is that every neighborhood has lots of little places to go. So even if you don't live right in an area, you've got a couple of places nearby, and then a shorter, a little bit further away. So it's just outside the Overlook. Okay, to take a moment to summarize the location, fantastic location. You'll get some fantastic views as well. The houses are a real mix from older homes from the 1920s to some newer condos. And you could certainly an area you could live without owning a car because of that public transportation. Okay, now let's get back into the video and explore a lot more on what Overlook has to offer.
So Overlook is located in North Portland, right across the river from downtown. It's just off the I-5, which makes commuting super easy. But don't worry, it is quiet. You're not going to be dealing with that freeway noise once you're in the neighborhood. Now, Overlook feels like its own little village within the city. It's got a residential core that's peaceful and friendly, but you're just minutes away from buzzing spots like Mississippi Avenue, Williams, and even downtown Portland. Okay, so let's take a moment to talk about what types of homes you can find here. Keep in mind, this is an older neighborhood, and as mentioned earlier, some areas date back to the early 1900s, so you're going to find lots of homes in and around 1920s, older craftsman style homes, and then bungalow style homes from the early 1900s. They're pretty common in the southern part of the neighborhood. Now, in the northern and western edges, you'll find some mid-century ranches and even some newer townhomes and condos. But what you'll find is that many streets are lined with mature trees, and the yards tend to be larger than what you might find in some of the inner southeast or northeast Portland homes. However, the homes overall definitely have a similar vibe to some of those nearby neighborhoods in northeast Portland. But that said, here in Overlook, it's a lot more affordable than somewhere like Irvington, for example. Now, later in the video, we'll touch on homes in a lot more detail and of course, go into some specific home prices. So what else does Overlook have to offer? Well, there are several large employers in the area. Adidas's North American headquarters is located on the west side of the neighborhood. There's approximately 2,000 people employed at this location. Now, as we just turn around and look around the area, you'll see that it's actually in very much a residential neighborhood. So if you're looking to be close to the campus if you work here, then living in Overlook could well be a great option for you to live. So on the southern edge of the Overlook neighborhood, you have the Kaiser Permanente offices and medical facilities too. And those are those buildings you can just see in the far distance. And then across from those offices, obviously, you have the Overlook Park, which is where I'm currently located. This is an 11-acre park with panoramic views of downtown Portland. Let me just spin around so you can see the beautiful area. You've got the Willamette River and then the Fremont Bridge. You can just see the side of it right there. You have all the usual facilities you'd expect from a neighborhood park like this. You've got the sports fields and plenty of walking trails as well. So if you're looking for an area with great public transportation, this could well be a good choice for you. You've got the Max Yellow Line that plays a big role in making the Overlook so commuter friendly. This yellow line runs right through the Overlook neighborhood along Interstate Avenue, and it makes it one of the most transit connected areas in North Portland, as there's 3 different stops in this neighborhood. That includes the Overlook Park station, Kaiser Permanente station, and then the North Prescott Street station, which is a quieter residential stop near the heart of the neighborhood. Now, this line will take you to a variety of different places. The southbound line, for example, will be about a 10 to 15 minute ride to downtown Portland. So overall, the yellow line is definitely one of the reasons Overlook has grown so popular, especially over the last 10 to 15 years. It makes the neighborhood feel really well connected, even though it still has that peaceful residential vibe. Okay, so I still have a lot more to show you about the Overlook neighborhood, but I did want to remind you that every week I release new videos on what it's like to live across the entire Portland metro area. I showcase which neighborhoods might be a good fit for you. So if you've made it this far, please do consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. That way you don't miss out on that future content. And also, do remember I am a real estate broker, so if you are thinking about making the move here, feel free to reach out to me. You can call, text, email, or even scan that QR code you see on the screen. That way you can schedule a one-on-one Zoom call with me. We can talk through your specific requirements. Okay, so now let's get back on with the video and talk about the schools in the neighborhood. Okay, so let's take a moment and talk about schools. But to be honest, they're a bit of a mixed bag. The Beach Elementary School, that's located right in the middle of the neighborhood, that dates back to the early 1900s. There's approximately 350 students attend there, and according to greatschools.org, they rate that school a very solid 7 out of 10. Then you've got the Ockley Green Middle School, that's located just outside the neighborhood in the northeast and has a great schools rating of 6 out of 10. And then the Jefferson High School, that's located just east of here and has a fairly average rating of 5 out of 10. So if schools are important to you, I recommend you check out my top schools video, which I posted a couple of weeks ago. This is where I showcase all the very best schools across Portland, as well as a couple of alternative options just outside of city limits. Okay, so now let's take a drive around the area. That way you can see a little bit more about what the neighborhood has to offer. And then when we come back, we'll explore the real estate market and of course, home prices in a lot more detail.
Okay, so now let's take a few minutes to see how much it costs to purchase a property in the Overlook neighborhood. And there's going to be quite some variance here because there's condos, townhouses, and single family homes available here. So we're on my website and you'll see I've kind of got roughly outlined the Overlook neighborhood. There's maybe around 25-ish properties currently on the market in this neighborhood. So overall, we should get a pretty good mix of properties. High level, you'll see starting price point. You see there's one here for 295,000, 279,000, 289,000. So the lowest price properties are just under 300,000. Let's take a quick look at this 295. This is obviously a condo or a townhouse, 1 bed, 1 bath, 651 square feet. So it's quite a small property, but it shows you kind of what the entry level price is for a property in this neighborhood. Now overall, across the Portland metro area as a whole, condos start in and around that mid 200,000s. You'll find condos throughout the city for around the mid 200,000s. So this is kind of definitely towards that entry level price point. And there's one more over here. Again, another looking condo building. 1 bed, 1 bath, 635 square feet. So that's kind of what you can expect there. You can start to see properties. Let's take a look at a couple of options. This is, well, take a look at this. It's not necessarily typical for what you'll find in this area, but we are seeing a lot more homes like this pop up throughout the city where they take one lot, knock down the property, or else they build on a vacant lot, multiple homes on the lot that are small, narrow, great starter homes, beautiful, eco-friendly, new construction, nice good quality, but you're getting a very small lot and you're quite close to your neighbors, so it keeps that price down. But this one's 525,000, 2 bed, 1 full bathroom, 1 half bathroom, 884 square feet. So it's not necessarily a big property, but you get an idea on what you can get for your money. So overall, it's new construction, has a nice vibe about it overall. Lovely kitchen, beautiful inside actually, yeah. They do a really nice job with some of these homes. I know they're kind of small yard, there won't be any yard space in these properties. But overall, if you're just someone who's looking for low maintenance, then in a great location, this could be an option. This is what I'm talking about, right? You've got almost 4 homes here kind of on one lot, which is why they're kind of boxed in together. And then we saw the Adidas building. This is the front end of it. Where I accessed it was kind of the rear end in the neighborhood area, but right around the corner, and then that was on the Mississippi. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at a couple more options. Okay, so I want to show you something that's more on the upper end in terms of the price point, and also kind of something that's a bit more traditional in terms of the style and what you could expect in this neighborhood. So this is $7,999, so just under 800,000. That's definitely on the upper end of the price point in this area. You may find a few other homes, especially if they have views, going to be higher price than this, but this is a fairly, definitely above the median price point. Remember, the median price point in the Portland metro area is in that mid 500,000 still, so this is definitely a higher price point. It is 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, 2,200 square feet. And the style of the home, this one's built in 1910. This is a beautiful style. You'll see this throughout Portland with the nice large porches. Let's take a look at some pictures inside. You got the garage to the side. This one's definitely been remodeled as well. Yeah, really, really nice inside. And it's a good price for the level of updates, I'd say. So this one is a real beautiful option. Doors out to the back there, but you'll see lots of typical finishes throughout the larger windows. Basement is semi-finished, I guess. I get it's finished, but it's kind of the concrete floors still. But yeah, good space in the backyard as well. But this kind of gives you a good example of a beautiful older home in this neighborhood. So if you like older homes, you'll definitely find some older homes like this in the neighborhood quite a lot. In fact, most of the neighborhood is probably built around the 1920s and before. But in the northern edge and around some of the busiest streets, you'll find some more older condos and then newer condos buildings as well. But overall, that's kind of a good option in and around this neighborhood. 800,000 for 2,200 square feet, beautifully updated. Okay, so let's take a moment now. We've looked at the lower end price point in terms of the condos. We looked at a property that's definitely on the higher end. Let's try and find something right around the middle. And there's one here that my attention's been drawn to. 599,000, slap bang in the middle of the neighborhood on Boston Avenue. 3 bed, 2 bath, 2,300 square feet. Okay, so this one's 599,000, built in 1949. Property taxes, by the way, $4,600. And when it comes to property taxes, the city of Portland has basically a rule where they cannot increase that by more than 3% a year. So if you bought this property, that won't increase by more than 3%. The exception to that, though, is if the property has had some significant enhancements. So maybe the square footage has increased, or maybe it's gone for an extensive remodel that would increase the value of the property significantly. So generally, only if it goes for an assessment, you'll have a large increase. Otherwise, the maximum increase, and it normally is a 3% increase year over year. So taxes, not too unreasonable, $4,600 a year, 2,300 square feet, 3 bed, 2 full bathrooms, and it's on a 0.12 of an acre, very typical lot size. But let's take a quick look through this one. Yeah, what you'll find in a lot of these houses are these large windows, kind of large single panel windows at the front, fireplace off to the side, kind of a typical layout for what you'll find here. Kitchen to the side, this less typical than norm sometimes, especially the floors here. What you may normally find is the living room to one side and then the dining room to the other side when you walk into some of these homes. So a little bit more updated in terms of from its original form, but probably 20 or 30 years old in terms of the style overall. But yeah, nice cute house. And then this is the upper level. You'll see quite a lot of upper levels have this paneling upstairs. It's just something that I tend to see quite a bit. And then this looks like it's the basement, paneling down there as well. So this one, needs a little bit in the way of updating. I love the fact that the virtual staging put a pool table down there. Yeah, so it's something you'll see. And then a covered backyard area, good for seating, barbecue. So yeah, overall, it's a mid-priced home in this neighborhood. And to get into a neighborhood like this where you're so centrally located, it's a good price point overall. So let's actually take a closer look at one of these condos, right? Let's take a look and see exactly what you get for your money here. Okay, so yeah, 295,000, built in 2020. Property tax is $4,200 a year. One bed, one bath, 651 square feet. And this is unit 11 in this building. So you'll see there's probably maybe 12 or more units in this building. So quite a few. Okay, so this is unit 2, so it obviously means it's upstairs. Unit 9 and 10. Yeah, unit 11. Okay, so let's take a look in here. So nicely renovated inside. Again, it's only 5 years old, so you would expect it to be in good condition. And this is great, you know. Beautiful kitchen, nice floors, nice and light and bright. Check out how big these windows are. And it's kind of an open plan from the kitchen to the living room area. You can see the person who lives here kind of works up here as well. So kind of good size. So again, if you're looking for that low maintenance, in fact, that's kind of an interesting feature, a little fireplace there. Low maintenance, and this is the one and only bedroom in the property. And then it opens up onto this bathroom. Yeah, so this is a good property. You got laundry in the unit. So this is great for, you know, it's not a huge unit, but you've got everything you need. You've got that full bathroom off the bedroom, living room, kitchen. And in fact, you can access the bathroom not from the main hallway and then the bedroom as well. So overall, a great entry level price point into this neighborhood. If you're looking for a starter property, get onto the property ladder. 295,000 for a basically fairly new construction, 5 years old at most. Very low maintenance in a great location. So to recap the properties and prices, there's quite a big mix, right? You've got condos and townhouses from under 300,000. You've got single family homes in and around the 500,000s, but they go up to about 800,000 maximum as well. For a very central location, near to everything, it's a good price. It's a great neighborhood. Some homes will have some great views, but overall, it's a charming little area.
Okay, so to recap, Overlook is a very well located neighborhood. You've got some fantastic public transportation here too, with easy access to downtown Portland. Homes are a fairly mixed bag. You've got older, charming homes and then some modern new builds and condos. There's also a couple of larger employers here too, with Adidas and Kaiser Permanente located in the neighborhood. Now, if you are thinking about making a move to Portland, or buying a home in this Overlook area, I'd certainly love to help you. I work with a lot of relocation clients, especially clients moving from out of state, and I can certainly help you navigate the market here with ease. So please do like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you have any questions about the area. Please reach out if I can help you. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.